trip. Only two on my climbers beach. Oh yeah, full of tender girls, yes. We love I love flying to Hawaii like it's close to me. Got 5 hours to the land with an ocean breeze. See nigga views, good food, and the woman tender. Bay Area. To the islands with a culture blender.
Tell me something about the water.
It is oh so tender.
Are there beaches everywhere?
Take a drive and end up on the side of the road. Stop it is a must. Take a list.
Good morning to everybody. Hello, welcome to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. I'm still fighting a cold, so excuse if my voice is up and down. Anywho, we are here on this good Sunday morning to go over the latest episode of Life After Lockup. This episode is titled Smells Like Bad Decisions. So we're going to get right into it. The way we do things on this channel when we recap Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup, or Love During Lockup is I go over each couple in the order I see them and we just talk about what happened with them in the entirety of the episode. Be sure to comment your opinions, comment what you disagree with, comment whatever you want to. And we're going to jump right up into it. So we're going to start with Taylor and Chance, the hot mess express that these good white people are. Now, Chance is shady as hell. And I used to, like, on their last season that we saw Taylor and Chance, I used to feel like, you know what? She's dumb as fuck. Because why would you choose to put yourself in a predicament where you can get pregnant by a man? Chance has never really shown her that he's going to, like, be the best kind of guy, if you guys dig what I'm saying. So I never understood why she was willing to, like, give him a chance. And then separate from that, she had 3 daughters prior to him, and you just allowed this man in your house. So Taylor's a little slow, but I think now she's starting to, like, the lights are on, and before no one was home, but the bitch came home. She's home. She's aware of all of his shenanigans, I think. So, and by the way, in real time, Taylor and Chance are not together. They're not together. So it looks like we're going to basically be watching why. So she calls him because the last we saw, Bobo, who is somebody Chance claims he was doing business with in prison, which makes no sense to me how you have a business in prison. That's shady as hell. And basically he owed Bobo $1,000 when he got home. He never paid Bobo. It's been years now, so Bobo's pulling up on his house and he pulled up to Taylor and them. I personally think it's for the cameras because if you're really in that situation, it doesn't make sense that Bobo would, like, on camera be threatening people. That's dumb, especially knowing Chances on the show. So excuse me, y'all. I'm all sniffly. I have the worst allergies, and it just doesn't get better. Me and James. I do recaps with him, too, sometimes. He has allergies as well. Anywho, Taylor doesn't like that Bobo pulled up on her while she was outside working on her little art table. And therefore, she decides to talk to Chance about it. And when she calls him, Chance is like, don't worry about that. Don't worry about those things. Tell this woman that she's in some sort of danger. If it's actually that, like, that's weird. Like, this is like the shittiest thing Chance has done. Like, cheating. All of these fucking inmates on this show at some point cheat damn near. But, like, people threatening, you know, your broad and your kids, might want to warn her. Just saying. Anywho, and that's why you got to be careful who you move in your house, because you never know who has enemies where, who's pissed off people in certain areas. You just never know. You never know. Anywho, moving it along. So fast forward, Chance, if we remember, was trying to look at an old ass 1997 limousine that someone's trying to sell to him for $7,500. And then in addition to that, he thinks that people are going to pay $250 per person to ride in that old ass limousine. Y'all seen the Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix? If y'all don't go to Enterprise and rent you a Lincoln, Enterprise, Hertz, Avis, Budget, whatever the hell, whatever's in your local area, nobody's paying that for a limo, dude. Like, no. If I'm going to pay $240 something a person, and it's going to be a good amount of people, I'm going to just say, fuck it, and get me a whole, like, party bus. That's just what I'm going to do. So moving in along, he's riding in the limo with one of his friends. I have no idea where Bobby, who is Taylor's sister, I could have sworn in the last episode Chance was supposed to be with Taylor's dude, but maybe I missed something. I don't know. The episodes are 90 fucking minutes long. It's easy to get lost somewhere. But we see him with his friend in the limo. And that's when I think, and I said this last week, and I keep seeing people say it as well. If this is real and not just made up by wetv, if you have $7,500 to drop on a limo, then why don't you take 1,000 of that and give it to Bobo? Matter of fact, why don't you take 1,000, give it to Bobo, not buy the fucking limo, and maybe you could use the money to try and find a job or get a certification to pay for like a certificate or something so it's easier to find a job, or you could pay your fucking bills considering you're in so much debt. Most people in debt, like coming up with me and Mr. Best were like in our early 20s, broke, all of that. Even today, if I get in a little bit of debt, I know I'll get like something for taxes, tax time, or bonuses from work because I'm in management. So sometimes we get bonuses and things like that. Like I will use that extra money to pay off debt or put it on a bill that I know I'm going to have to pay or struggle to pay to prevent debt. That just seems like the better thing to do. But he wants to buy a limo, and it looks like they live in the middle of fuck nowhere. And he's expected to get all these customers and all these crazy things. And I'm just like, Chance, this is why I think that you're smoking that rock. You're smoking something. It's not the devil's grass. You're smoking something far worse. So anyhow, fast forward later into the episode, we see Taylor wanting to talk to Chance because she's still feeling unsettled about, you know, somebody pulling up on her house, asking about her dude, saying he gonna be back, TikTok, those type of things. Like he's upset about that, or she's upset about that. She has a right to be. So Chance is ignoring her, and she's like, "Are we gonna talk about this?" He's like, "If we could talk without getting into an argument." And I hate when people say passive aggressive shit like that, especially when you're in like any type of relationship, friendship, familyship, argument. If you don't talk, an argument is the least of your concerns. It is natural to argue. You cannot get along with a person that you're with all the time, every fucking day. You just can't. It's unrealistic. So this is like, Chance just looked like a little boy. I didn't understand it, but Taylor, your bedroom's nice, girl. Thought it was cute. Anywho, she asked him if he has any more secrets. And, you know, he basically says to her, "Well, if I did, it's none of your business until you want to marry me." I said, "Oh, no, this Nuka didn't." First of fucking all, in order to get married, you have to get to a point of trust where some of your secrets the person knows. You also, in American society, Chance, as the man, proposed to her. So you ask her to get married, meaning that you're ready to tell her all your secrets and give up the privacy of your life, all that stuff. Yeah, it's like that. It's really like that. I'm married a little bit. So I'm just saying, like, it doesn't make any sense. So he says that, and she stands up for herself. Taylor's standing up for herself. But you know what concerns me is I feel like she's standing up for herself because of what she deals with online, seeing all the comments from the fans like, stand up for yourself. What the hell wrong with you? And I also think she's just doing it because she's pretty much checked out. If you don't know if you want to marry this person, and before you did, then you're likely falling out of like, love, whatever the hell you have with this person, and it's time for you to move on. So, you know, I really do like Taylor. I think she seems sweet. You know, she's just not smart when it comes to her decisions with men. And I think as women, especially, like in those relationships with men who were like, "Oh, I want to be traditional." You can't be traditional till that man can prove himself to you. Like right now, my husband's the main income and stuff, but for many years I worked, not because I had to or anything like that. But listen, you got to make sure you have your own. And I don't think you should let someone like control or be fully involved in your finances. Like work together, but don't allow somebody to run your credit and debt into the ground. That's just unrealistic. There's other ways to, you know, figure things out. Anywho, for those watching the live replay, or if you're here now, feel free to like the video. I appreciate it. It is an easy and free way to support the channel. I appreciate you. And if you really like us, go ahead and subscribe. We do recaps multiple times a week, specifically for love, during, and life after lockup. We do these recaps every Saturday or Sunday because my recent work schedule is looking like it's going to be Sundays going forward. But hey, better late than never, right? So we're going to move on to the next couple, which is Justine and Michael. The world's longest pregnancy, as everybody likes to say. So they're going to go meet their parents, both of their moms, and they want to let their moms know that they're going to be moving to Vegas, not Rhode Island, even though the family thinks they're going to be coming back to Rhode Island, which I don't understand why the family thinks that if no one has officially said it. If they haven't said it, then don't assume that they're just going to move back because that's where family is. Listen, family can be the greatest blessing, but also the largest curse in anybody's life. They can protect you, but also keep you from finding love, interrupt your love. They can be impactful. I think it's good to have a relationship with your family, but move where you want to move. Live your life the way you want to live your life because it's your life. Anywho, so Mike's mom, Maria, ends up giving them a paternity test when they go to meet with their moms in this public restaurant. And y'all know Rhode Island is like the size of my little finger. So I'm like, that's so rude to really put it in a gift bag too. It's not just that you did it. You could have brought up the conversation, Maria. I'm sorry, Michael's mom is a bitch. I'm just going to call it what it is. He says his mom is tripping on paternity because there was a family member, I guess her brother or somebody, and they thought they loved this child as their own, and then they found out the child wasn't biologically his kid years later. So did you guys disconnect from that kid because they grew up with you as their family? I'm pretty sure they're not going to just disown you because they find out that they're not your blood. Like, I'm pretty sure that's not what's happening. But the way that Mike's mom is acting, it seems like that. It seems like that to give a pregnant woman a paternity test who's married. Like, girl, if my mother-in-law handed me a paternity test, like when me and Mr. Best got pregnant, I would lose my shit. I really would lose my shit. I'd be like, oh, okay. All right. You want to play that game? Bet. I'm a Gemini. I'm very petty when need to be. But my mother-in-law wouldn't do anything like that. She respects boundaries, and I love her for it. Shout out to Kathy. We love her for it. She got some cute braids, too. Shout out to her. Family of braids. Anywho, I do appreciate Mike and Justine's mom. They both defended Justine. Justine didn't even have to say nothing. She just sat there. And honestly, Maria, she don't owe her shit. And Justine's mom says what we're all thinking. You're calling her a tramp by you saying that because she's like, oh, she got pregnant quick. And her mom's like, you're saying she cheated on your son. You're calling her a tramp if you're questioning the paternity of the baby. Well, because she got pregnant so fast. Yeah, because he was locked up for many years. And I don't know if he, had his little, hand time. But, I mean, you are more fertile when you haven't, actively, actually, you got out. That thing was probably gushy, and hundreds of millions of the little swimmers probably swam for their life because they've been cooped up. So it's not, it is rare. Pregnancies are rare, what people don't understand. However, some people do it on the first time. Some people are just fucking fertile. And she had 3 kids. He had 4 kids prior. They're fertile. And they wanted to have a baby. And they're married. So apparently they can afford it because they're thinking of moving where they won't, getting their shit together. So listen, I don't understand why the mom is saying something. He's got a bunch of other baby mamas too. At least he married this one. So I don't trust that. And we have to remember that Maria, which is Mike's mom, Justine met Mike through her. They were friends and co-workers. So that's why I say you don't get too close with your co-workers. I'll never do that again. That's the truth. Another reminder, be sure to like the video. I appreciate you greatly. So she gives it a paternity test, and it was just disrespectful. Mike, whack, but I'm glad you checked your mom. And because Mike checked his mom and Justine's mom checked her, I won't go in on her too much. But the bitch did go and say, Maria go say, well, either way, I'm going to get it done. Take that camera and get to the court and revoke her grandparents' rights. You want to treat my child like this? No. And, Mike's mom does say she doesn't want to grow a bond with this child without she says she's not going to be able to bond with this child until knowing, then don't bond with my child. They got the other grandma. Like, at this point, I would keep my kid the fuck away from her, because the kid was conceived in love and a happy time, regardless on how shaky or irresponsible it seemed. So for your child to look back and see that their grandmother didn't want to know them until they knew that they were that, is going to cause so many issues that are deeper. I would say fuck that lady and be done with her. Like, okay. Or take the paternity test and be like, now you know your grandchild is yours, but you can't fucking see him, bitch. How about that? I don't like that. It's not funny. If it is for the camera, it's not cool. Like, that's not okay. Let them people be. Maria. She just mad she alone. Moving it along. Eris and Cameron, aka OG Cam. So they have been evicted from her home because she's a homeowner. She is a data analyst, so good for her. She's a homeowner, a Black homeowner. Yes, girl. Anywho, she is a homeowner and she's looking to move because she received an eviction notice due to her HOA, Homeowners Association, for those who are unsure. It's basically, see, I would never move to a place where there is a HOA, or if there was one, I would want a non-invasive one where they just like say little shit like, you know, keep up with your lawn, don't have cars that don't run parked on the street, like little shit like that, fine. But you can't tell me who's in my house. You can't tell me if I could have a party. You can't tell me about no late hours. I don't need none of that. Like, I don't like HOAs. And then it's an extra bill on top of your mortgage, on top of your insurance, on top of your property tax. Like, no. I've been looking into like home buying. I really want to buy a home because I'm 31 now and I will own a home by the time I'm 35, which works because when I'm 35, Mr. Best will be 37. So I'm pretty sure he'll want a house anyway. Anywho, side note, she's looking at her house and she's put out because her HOA says that they don't want people in a neighborhood with criminal backgrounds, from what I can understand. So she's 8 months pregnant and they have a few weeks to find this house. And while she's looking for the house without Cameron, Cameron is with Lena, who is Eris's daughter outside of their relationship and marriage. And, you know, he's talking to her and she's 10 and she's a little overwhelmed. She's like, I got a new sibling, you know, and then you're kind of a lot. And then we're moving, you know, she has concerns. And he's like, don't you trust that I'll always have a roof over your head and food to eat? This little girl, I love kids. Kids gonna tell you really that no, anybody else will. She said, no, you have not. Because why were we looking at the RV, stepdaddy? I love it. By the way, I love how Cam is with her. He's very good with children. I hope that he is as good with his own children outside of the relationship as he is with this one. But I believe he is. He just seems like he's good with kids. And I said it on Love During Lockup and their first season of Love After Lockup. I said it about Eris and Cam. People were like, oh, he's awful. No, he got out of jail. He had an urge. He got drunk, you know, but he still came home to his woman. Okay. Listen, I've been with my dude since 19. He used to party. We basically grew up together in some ways. He used to come home when he was like 18 to 21. Mr. Best would come home pretty trashed, but he always came home. So I don't know. It's a hot mess. And I could reach him though when he was away though, like phone, FaceTime, all of that. Because it's not always good if they just come home. I don't want people thinking just because they come home, they got to, you know, listen to your gut, ladies. Anywho, so next thing we see is, and I just side note, why was Cameron shopping for plants when they don't have a house yet? Where will you put these plants? Just a little question that I have. So Cam is preparing for his music videos and he knows that Eris is upset because, you know, she wants to see them putting everything into a house, so she's panicking, which I don't blame her. She could have stayed there if she never met you. So, you know, definitely get that. Speaking of which, $400,000 is their budget and they're looking at these nice homes with yards and HOAs. I'm from the Bay Area, Oakland, California, to be specific. $400,000 might get you an apartment in a shady neighborhood. Like, it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. Anywho, so he's prepping for the video. He knows Eris is going to be upset, and she is upset about the video shoot. And she's not upset at him, and it has nothing to do with her not trusting him or anything. It looks like she's just mad about how he's prioritizing music over, you know, their housing and their life, and they have a new baby that's coming into the world in a matter of weeks. And I can understand that. On Cameron's side, he says he is taking this money because he is monetized on all of his social media platforms, which means that he is able to get paid, you know, and whatnot, and make income from doing social media. So in addition to that, he's also working as a call center rep, and he wants to do his music. So he says, since he knows the baby's going to come and he's not going to be able to even come outside for a little over a month, he said he wants to get all of his music videos and things filmed ahead of time so that he can dedicate all of his time to his new baby and his wife, which also makes sense. He just needs to work on his communication. Cam, OG, you need to work on your communication, beloved. You do, because Cam means well. And he, in my opinion, he seems to be a good husband. The only issue is communication, and Eris needs to work on her temper. And I think they'll be golden. I think they'll be okay. There seems to be love in that relationship. But she do pop up on him on his $8,000 video shoot. I have reviewed your music, Cam. We have played your music video on the Mrs. Best Reviews song review. You guys should check it out. Honey, $8,000 was not necessary for that little ass video, okay? You could have hired just the stripper and got a pole and probably rented an Airbnb for the day for about $100, maybe $200, and called it a day. Like, my husband raps too. You don't have to do all of that for a video. I understand it, you know, to use necessary and all of that, but no, that's not necessary. He can find cheaper ways to do it, but I don't know. Maybe he can't because he's in Florida, but I see a lot of artists from Florida, the area, and they make it work. So, you know, she flips out on him and they talk about the money, and they both had attitudes, but I was cracking up. Cam cracks me up. I would be irritated being with somebody like him because he's a natural comedian. She's stressed out and all of that. He said, man, will you stop tripping? You stressing me and my baby out, and pointed at her pregnant belly. I said, you know what? Just fucking goofy. Just fucking goofy. Eris, good luck, sister. Just remember the ring. When they get on your nerves, remember the ring and the mandingo, if you get where I'm coming from. And then it starts to put things into perspective as to why we deal with these fucking men. That's what I'll say. Apologies for the loud banging noise. Somebody's working on something early on a Sunday morning. It's only 9:54 here in California. So I don't know what the hell that's about. Next couple we're going to go over is Joinomi and Red. If you haven't liked the video, please do so. I appreciate you and the life. They arrive at her home in New Mexico finally after his fake ass proposal with the ring he bought in a little Crackle Barrel casino type area. Sway, who is her son that she had when she cheated on Red with 3 different men, at least 3 is what we think it is. He comes in and he finally meets him, and the boy is excited to see Red. Dada, daddy. Listen, to women who have kids, we need to start holding each other accountable, women in general. And y'all need to stop ignoring the advice of women like me who don't have kids. I am trained in psychology, though, and I will say this. It is not healthy to have your child to call someone else dad without them actually being their dad and with them being so new. Now, if you get married to Red, then fine. You know, even though I still don't agree with it, but whatever. You're not married to Red. He just cheated on you. You just was about to leave him. You never visited him in jail. You never brought him to meet your son in person. And you said your son's dad is one of 3 men. So she probably fucking knows who her son's father is, but doesn't have the heart to say it. So I just, Joinomi, that's so disrespectful to your child, yourself, to women. Honestly, even though Red ain't shit to him, it's disgusting. It really is. There's no reason that little boy should think that's his dad. That's not his dad. Go find his real fucking dad. And meanwhile, there's a man running around not knowing he has a child. And you don't know if he would be there. You haven't given him the opportunity. So you have robbed Sway and his biological father of the true bond between a child and their dad. You know, there's a bond, of course, between a child and every parent, but if you were blessed and fortunate enough to grow up with your dad, I was. Dads are great. I'm a daddy's girl through and through. I love my dad. And I think that it does make a difference in the choices that we make. Even if your parents aren't together, knowing your mom and your dad, it's beneficial. You know, it just is. Anyhow, so I don't like what Joy did with that. And that's why I'll never respect her. I'll never fucking respect her. You don't play with your kids like that, bitch. What's wrong with you? Anywho, so she asked her sister Shoshana. I do like their names though. Joy Nomi, Shoshana, so pretty. I love those names. She asked her sister if she feels better about Joy and Red's relationship just because she sees Red is there. And I'm like, bitch, why the fuck would she feel better just after seeing this man? What the fuck? Just because she sees him, you think it's going to magically make everything better? Joy Nomi is not smart. She's not smart. Anyway, her sister says that her sister says when she finds out that Red proposed that they should wait a few years before getting married, which I think is smart. You should. Why are you rushing? Why? I don't get it. So, you know, Joy Nomi then says in another scene that she hopes that her relationship works out with Red because she has introduced him to Sway. And I'm like, girl, you did more to introduce him. Sway thinks that's his daddy and is not. So Red, we find out later in the episode, has been watching Sway because not much happened with them. We're just watching them settle in while Joy Nomi is working because he's unable to find a job. But I'm like, Joy Nomi, who watches Sway when you're, you know, when you're single, like not with Red? Because how is he going to be able to find a job if he's got a kid running around in the background? Like, how? I'm curious. So I don't know. Whatever the hell. Red, I don't think he's good with kids. He's like awkward with kids. I could be like that. Like I'll play games with them and all of that. But unless I like really know the kid, I'm not going to like do much outside of that. So bad. That's why I ain't got no kids. But all he does is he's playing with Sway and all these things. And then he gets a call from his sister Destiny. And she's, you know, questioning him and, you know, asking what's going on in his relationship. His family misses him back in Missouri. And he's explaining like Joy is extremely, she doesn't trust him and it shows. She questions him a lot and she smothers him. And his sister says that's not healthy, but they want Red to visit. So he says he's going to come visit. We also hear from his sister that some of his homegirls and some females been coming by and wanted to talk to Red, talk about Red, however the hell you want to put it. So I'm like, dang, not only are you cheating on her, but these bitches know where to find your mama. Make it make sense. I don't get it. Red is not that cute to me, but I know a lot of women will see dreadlocks and a felonious record and be like, oh, I want him. He's a bad boy. He's got dreadlocks and he's a felon. Like, girl, no. Red is not all of that. I think he might like boys. That's just a thought. And that is alleged, in my opinion, because I ain't trying to get sued by none of these people. Y'all know I ain't got shit. Good luck. But yeah, I don't know. Red's just awkward. The way he behaves and acts with women, it doesn't seem like natural, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense. But, you know, he's going to go home, he says, since he's unemployed. I love how he just made that decision without talking to his future wife at all. We know they're not together in real time. I've known this relationship was a joke the moment I found out she never visited him. And then it was confirmed when I found out that she had a baby on him. And I think we found that all in one episode. It was like an episode that required like a glass of Pinot Grigio. Or Riesling. I'm so serious. I love Riesling, by the way. I love it. Moving on to the next couple, you guys. We are almost done. We've got 2 couples left, including the one I'm about to go over. Brittany and Key-Rock. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you to the gods of love after lockup. Brittany is annoying. She's young and it shows. And I was like, why does she annoy me? It's the high-pitched tone of her voice. She's always whining. And I just needed a break from hearing her bitch about babies. And she's not doing shit anyway. It's like, I would have liked to see her at cosmetology school talking about what she's going through and stuff. But no, she want to quit. Girl, don't quit for your man. If your man really rock with you, they going to tell you they don't want you to quit. And yours did. So I don't understand, Brittany. Anywho, Key Rock goes on a job interview and he's nervous because he's transitioning. So when you're transitioning, your ID says male or female, because I'm not trying to be offensive, but those are the only, like, scientifically, those are the only genders, male or female. It's the chromosome thing. So, you know, that's what it is. That's why the ID goes by that. That's why Key Rock was in a female prison. I don't know what happens after that, but I do know and have some friends who have gone through the process of transitioning. And I remember them crying to me at times about being embarrassed when showing their ID, like when we would go into like the club or things like that. So, you know, I get it on their end, how it could be like embarrassing because they're trying to identify as something new. However, comma, government, science, for legal purposes, they got to do male or female because that's what it is. You know, apologies to those who are offended. Doesn't mean I don't support what you do. I don't care who you marry or what the fuck you do to yourself, but a fact is a fact is a fact is a fact is a motherfucking fact. So there is that. For those who are upset or want to come at me with the LGBT banter in the comments, I'll say to you, I will not respond, but I will say when you attack people just because they have a difference of opinion, that you mute your own message. So that is what I'll say. Moving it along. When he's at his interview, he's nervous about the ID, but they weren't tripping. I think, no shade, I can usually tell when people are transitioning, or even when they're done with their transition. I can tell if they're not a natural born female or male. You can just tell. So, you know, I feel like these people probably knew it because there's cameras there. He was referred from the prison system. So I feel like Department of Corrections would have let them know that, but I don't know. Maybe they won't. But Key Rock did really well in the interview. I interviewed people. I think he did a good job. And his eagerness definitely showed. And it's always good to say that. I also want to say shout out to Key Rock because you didn't just do time. You made use of your time. And now something that you did while in prison is helping you while out and to keep you out versus you going back to the life. And I think as taxpayers and our dollars pay for that shit, I think that's wonderful. If our tax dollars and the money that's being pulled from my paycheck is going to the jail system and they are helping these people to actually attain skills so they don't have to come back, that is correcting the error of their crime, Department of Corrections. So that's what you will want. So shout out to them for that. And good job, Key Rock. So he ends up getting the job, which is a positive. Then we see Key Rock boxing, and he expresses while boxing that he thinks his older brother is back on drugs. Drugs is a real thing. I know it has hit the South hard, which is where he lives. It's hit the Bay hard. You know, people are struggling. What is it? The opioid epidemic, fentanyl crisis. There's all sorts of shit happening right now with these drugs that, in my opinion, the government probably gave to us. But his brother is struggling, and he talks with his mom and finds out that his brother's actually struggled for 5 years with substance abuse, but he did not know because his mom didn't want him to find out about that and then act out while in the hole or get sent to the hole or anything like that. And she says she feels like she failed her child, and it doesn't mean you fail your kid. I mean, some people now, I know within psychology, we're seeing that people are getting into drug addictions and substance abuse troubles who don't come from the traditional backgrounds of having a hard upbringing. People who've had relatively good lives and have not struggled with depression or, you know, any other psychosomatic disorders, they're turning to drugs. It's just something that's becoming more normal, kind of like, I guess the best thing. It's just becoming more normal. So that's unfortunate, but they make a plan to approach their brother with love, let him know he's not judged, and to try to talk to him about, you know, what's going on with him and his potential issues of substance abuse. I really do wish that family the best. It seems like their mom had cancer. One of her kids went to jail. The other kid struggled from substance abuse. The other one was in the streets and then had a psychotic break and was killed by a train. Like, this family has experienced some real shit, some tragedy, some pain. So I hope that they find healing, and good for you, Key Rock, for finding a job and doing what you can to bring your mom a little less stress. So hopefully everybody figures it out. Moving on, if you guys could do me a favor, like the video if you like what I'm saying. If you don't like what I'm saying, comment your opinions on what you don't like, and we could talk about it, you know? Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and you like the content that you see. We're going to go over the last couple, Lindsay and Blaine. Now, y'all know I don't care for them. I do not want her on my TV screen. Lindsay doesn't seem real to me. I feel like a lot of what she does and says is for the TV, and let's call it what it is. She a gold digger. She started out with Scott. That didn't go how she wanted because he wasn't a millionaire. So she carved up his desk, caught some charges. She seems focused about everything that she should not be focused on. I feel like she should be focusing on building the relationship with the daughter she didn't raise. Just saying. So we see her shooting hoops with that daughter. They're playing basketball. And she's talking to her daughter about adopting Kagan, which I thought was so stupid. I think it's nice that you want to do that, but how you going to adopt somebody when you don't know if you're going to jail or not? The girl got warrants and some more shit. So, and why are you talking to your daughter about it? You just got her in the house. Like, that doesn't make sense. Her daughter's against Blaine adopting her and all of the stuff. And then we see Blaine is unsure about marriage because of Lindsay's pending state charges, as well as her temper. Bitch got a temper. I get it. I have, I think, a really bad temper. I'm very calm now, and I don't get mad over things that don't make sense. But I think if my husband could like draw a picture or explain to y'all my temper, usually when people ask him about it, he just, So I get the temper being scary, but if you love her, you'll deal with it. That's all I'm saying. But he's unsure because he don't want to marry somebody who has pending charges. He has a son. He doesn't want to go through things. So they do end up going to see the lawyer about these pending charges that Lindsay has. Now, before they said she had warrants. Did she clear those warrants or something? Like, I'm confused because now they're saying they're actual charges. Mind you, your girl, Mrs. Best, Mrs. Thug Life, I don't break the law. Like, I don't break the law. I don't think. Maybe some driving laws. I'm kind of an aggressive driver. As people say, I drive like a man. But, you know, like in terms of like robbing people and like getting in the shit to go to jail, like I don't break laws. No, I don't have time for that. I like freedom. I can't do 3 hots in a cot. It's not meant for me. Anywho, while at the lawyer, it's the Hot Mess Express with her criminal record. So she has, and I'm looking at my notes because I never want to mess up charges and then have somebody commenting like, hey, bitch, that's wrong. Like, no, sorry. So she has 2 counts of intent to distribute methamphetamine, which is a Schedule II substance. And then she has another count for another crime count for trying to do and sell methamphetamine to an inmate or non-inmate. So I assume she did it in jail or something and then tried to sell it to somebody. That's what that sounds like. And she has new state charges as well as a parole violation for the situation we saw with Scott. Not only was that a parole violation, but in addition to that, she incurred new charges because she destroyed his property. The total for all of these charges, if convicted, is a total of 40 years. But I guess in Mississippi, you only have to do 25% of that time, which equates to, I believe, 10 to 12 years of the sentence. So either way, she would have to go away for a decade. And the lawyer says, because this is the same lawyer that got Blaine off when he was facing 20 years, the lawyer says that Lindsay needs to pay him $20,000. And I'm trying to understand why. Because if y'all understand Mississippi's economy, shout out to World According to Bridge. I encourage you guys to go look at his channel or Nick Johnson's channel. One of the many YouTubers that do stats videos and whatnot on American cities and stuff. Y'all know I'm a nerd. I'll be looking that stuff up. Mississippi virtually has like no economy. It's like slavery ended and the racism was like frowned upon and they didn't know what to do with the economy. That's what it seemed like. But they definitely, It's not a state where I could see myself paying a lawyer that much money, but maybe that's what that lawyer charges. And then it's hard to believe he charges that when they walk out of his office and it's like, there's never anything. It looks like an old set or something. There's never anything there. So I don't know. This lawyer do not play about his money, though. He do not play. So Lindsay goes and sees her friend Six, and she wants to collect old debts. I guess her friend was in the life, used to sell drugs for her, and the girl is out of the life now, but she's recently out of the life, so she still has connections. Lindsay says, I don't have those connections anymore with those people, which is good. Like, I'm hoping Lindsay... I really don't want her on the show anymore, but since I'm going to recap it for y'all because I respect my thugs, but I don't care for Lindsay or her storyline. It's, you know, when there's like too much dramatics and drama, it's almost unbelievable or tiring. Send her to Zeus. Give her a Zeus show. Do that. I think she'd do better somewhere like that, or like All Black, somewhere like that. I don't fucking care to see this lady on the show, but she goes to collect old debts from people, I guess, who owe her money. And she's concerned about that because she was like, when I was on drugs, I wasn't, you know, I had no fears. Girl, either you a boss or you not. That's how I feel. So we'll see more of what she does, you know, collecting the debts. We see her on the way to get one, and she's glad she has a friend there because her friend's going to do it. But she's going to have to collect some of these debts on her own. So it looks like we'll see more of what happens with that throughout the season. I appreciate the people who are here watching. Hey, y'all. Good morning. Peace and love. I had to get this done early because there's a lot I have to do. There's a lot I have to do today. Anywho, that is the end of my recap for the episode Smells Like Bad Decisions. We will be back next Sunday because I know for sure I will be off on Sundays. I don't work on the Lord's Day, y'all. I really do not work on the Lord's Day. But what we're going to do, because we end every recap and live that we do on this channel with a song, we're going to end this recap with a song from Also Best and Be Money Be Manifested titled Flood. I hope that you guys enjoyed the song. I hope that you subscribe to the channel, like the video. I hope you enjoy your Sunday. If you have any shows you want me to recap or go over, just let me know. I am looking for more shows to recap, and I will get that done. So now we are going to head into Oh So Best, and we're going to listen to a song, Flood. Adios and happy Sunday.
What's up, Oso? Hey, what's this they talk about? It's a drought. Like, what we say?
Oh, yeah. The drought is over, about to be a flooding county. Niggas lifting weights and I ain't talking about it. Niggas nerve bittersweet like a motherfucker. Shit. Looks like me, this shit. The drought is over, about to be a flooding county. These niggas lifting weights and I ain't talking about it. Niggas nerve bittersweet like a motherfucker. I'm the best and ain't so. Heard them shots on the block, do not go. Where I'm from, they run up, they give no cares. They share no fucks, and they'll be acting like you better shut the fuck up. Hit that whip, hit that face, if that is, see that kid stay out, don't play myself, hit my nitrous. Bitches just out the restrooms, ain't that some shit? You with your Christian kids, man, ain't that? Alright, that's what it's in no place for no bunch of many let out of prison due to a mistake. Fully express my thoughts, I'll get canceled. I'd rather keep real pussy up on that pedestal back. If I keep it 100, then they about to flip that time. 90s, baby, I respect for being on. They niggas insensitive, they got their dick, they booty to your hella man, like they got their dick. Keep a freak on my dick, that is class. When niggas only in my section don't last. Keep a freak on my dick, that is class. When niggas only in my section don't last. Real niggas only, real niggas only, real niggas in my section, real niggas. Real niggas only, real niggas. Real niggas in my section, real niggas. Real niggas only, real niggas. Real niggas in my section, real niggas. Real niggas only, real niggas.
Call me Lil Hurricane, how I'm flooding. Steve Urkel jeans, how I'm coming. I'm flooding. Do 'em like some donuts, call me Duncan. With the floor, I leave 'em real crack egg McMuffins. Ooh, I ain't mean to make 'em sick, Robitussin. How I got up on the beat was disgusting. If we ain't talking about the drip, how we flooding. Even in the eye of my storm, I be crushing. Shit, call my ruins Noah, cause they know they flooding. They pump it up and let it blow, no Joe Button. In this life, you always reap the soul, how you throwing? Yeah, I'm finna bubble with these racks, but I ain't blowing. Hit 'em fast, leave with blast, how I'm flooding. Ask the haters why they always plucking. Dime a dozen. How I crack, how be super bad, no McLovin. I don't need a car, I got the art, how I'm flooding.
Real niggas on it. Real niggas on it. Real niggas on it. I said you real niggas. Real niggas on it. Real niggas. Real niggas in my section. Real niggas. Real niggas on it. Real niggas. Real niggas in my section. Real niggas. Real niggas on it. Real niggas. Ha ha. Look for y'all. This shit.